Alright, I'm back with the PS3 collection. These are the games that I discussed last time. Out of the frame there's Demon Souls, but I couldn't fit it on the screen. So let's continue. I'll move these out of the way again. Like I said at the end of last video, I forgot Deus Ex because I had it on a separate pile and I just skipped over it, so I'll start with Deus Ex. Can I get these out of the frame properly? Yeah. That's good. So let's start with Deus Ex. Human Revolution Augmented Edition comes with this nice hardcover box. And I had this in a separate spot, so I just completely forgot that I have it. So there's Deus Ex Human Revolution design work. Has some art in it. This is one of the most highly awaited games for me. I'm blanking on what the actual word is I'm looking for here, but I was waiting for this game for so long. I was so hyped for this, and it lived up to the hype. I really like this game a lot. I've played the original Deus Ex on the PS2 actually. I have the PS2 port for it, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. So this isn't as good as the original, but it has a lot of the same charm. So you have many different ways on how to tackle the missions, and it's a real role-playing game where you can actually change your character in very, very substantial ways depending on what skills you develop. So Deus Ex Human Revolution, absolutely one of the best PS3 games in my opinion. The only problem that I have with the game is that the boss fights are really bad. I'll put it like this. The boss fights are really bad in a game. They were developed by a different studio and they don't fit the game at all. So if you are building a stealth character, the first boss fight that you are put up against is just a guy with a massive minigun, and you're just doomed. It doesn't make any sense that they would make these design choices for this game when the rest of the game you can play completely stealth, like in other Deus Ex games you can play as a pacifist, so you can play the whole game without killing anyone except for the bosses, which you have to fight in a way that doesn't really make sense. Right. I also have this book, Humanity Plus, The Roots of Deus Ex Human Revolution. This came as a subscriber bonus with one of the game magazines that I actually still subscribe to, the Finnish Pelaajalehti gamer magazine. So this was a free subscriber bonus that came with one of the magazines. So this is an introduction to the philosophy and the philosophy of post-humanism and the history of cyberpunk as well. Where is the cyberpunk stuff? Here, right? You have J.G. Ballard with Crash mentioned here, and also other writers like William Gibson and Philip K. Dick and William Burroughs and all the classics are mentioned here. So this is a companion introduction for the game and for cyberpunk in general. Some of the articles, some of the writing in this is quite academic, so it's not the easiest to read if you don't know English, but very glad to have that in the collection. Not sure many other YouTubers have shown that piece in any of their videos. So, right Next up, something really special for me. So this is the Classics HD release of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. And as I've said multiple times before, Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game of all time, bar none. It has been my favorite game for years and years and years and years at this point. And I just absolutely love this game. And this PS3 Classics HD version is my favorite version of the game. So it's basically the original PS2 game, but with better frame rate and some slight changes to how the controls work. So the controls are better and the frame rate is better, but it's basically the exact same game. And it's just fantastic. Ico as well. I remember liking it a lot. Recently, I've read many people complaining that Ico is just garbage, but I don't know. I remember liking it a lot. It's very clunky at times. Some of the controls are awful in that game, but the combat is pretty basic as well. But I remember liking the story and the atmosphere and the characters a lot. And this is the watermelon ending on the original Ico is one of my favorite endings to any video game ever. I also have the Japanese release for this. So this is Ico / Wonder and the Colossus limited box. So Wonder and the Colossus is Shadow of the Colossus. Has this really nice box with fantastic art. And it does have both of the games on separate discs that have their own manuals. I'll get this out of the box. It's very rigid. Oh yeah, it's again one of these Japanese manuals that have these foldable. Oh, did I knocked this over a little bit? I have to adjust it. Yeah, maybe like that. So it does have these foldable elements in it. It's not the easiest to show, but very strange design actually for this. Yeah, very nice looking manual for this one. And then also the disc art, pretty great. I haven't seen this art anywhere else. It's interesting. And then Ico has its own separate case. The nice disc art. It's like a save point in a game. And then does have the manual as well. More simple manual. Oh, this does have some story in it as well, I guess. Very interesting. This art style reminds me a lot of like 1800s children books that have these very interesting hand-painted illustrations and whatnot that go together with the story. And then it does have a separate book as well with some concept art and other art from the game. Also has these story panels. But what is this foldable part here? Ooh, that's nice. Some Ico art in full color. Very nice. Yeah. This release used to be very cheap when I got it years and years ago. I don't know what it goes for now, but I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't the most expensive one. I think this is a pretty common import that you can find. Yeah, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, two very special games in my opinion. All right, let's move on. What do we have here? Something a bit more basic. Infamous third-person action game, like an anti-hero superhero game. Pretty good. I remember liking it quite a bit. This one is John Woo's Stranglehold. So it's basically a third-person shooter that follows a very typical Hong Kong action movie storyline. So, I mean, it's John Woo's Stranglehold, John Woo, the director. So, yeah, it's a John Woo Hong Kong action movie in video game form. I don't remember liking it that well. It's a very, very simplistic third-person shooter, but it's worth checking out. Right, then some of the weirdest and worst at the same time games for the PS3. These are Kane Lynch, Dead Man, absolutely one of the worst PS3 games of all time. The writing, the gameplay, the AI, the technical problems with this game, just almost broken. The second game is an interesting one. It's a lot better than the first one in many ways, and it does have this very strange fever dream art style and storyline as well. So it moves on like a nightmare, and it looks like a neon nightmare. Takes place in Hong Kong, at least in part, I believe. Oh, it's Shanghai. Yeah, it's Shanghai, so in China, right? And I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have played a lot of third-person shooters and you're looking for something weird, then Kane Lynch 2 is definitely that. It's a weird game. Right, another weird game, Katamari Forever. This is the only PS3 Katamari game. This is the first one I played in a series, and it's great. It's really great. It's a Katamari game. You roll stuff into balls, and that's that. Also has a multiplayer mode, which isn't the best, but the single player is fantastic. Right. Another fantastic game. Oh, we have a stretch here of really good stuff. This is the Japanese import for Ketsui. What is the whole title? Yiko Kutachi something. I can't remember it. But yeah, this is the Major's PS3 port for the game. One of my favorite games of all time, like I said in one of the earlier videos. Fantastic shoot 'em up. I don't have the limited edition for this. There is also a limited edition for this with some extra stuff in it, but this is just a base game. Fantastic stuff. Then we have Killer is Dead by Grasshopper. So this is again a Suda title, a really wild third-person action game, really strange and interesting. Great visuals, great music. I remember liking this a lot. Right, and then I have some childhood memories here. This is Kingdom Hearts 1.5 remix. So this has the original Kingdom Hearts game as the Japanese final mix version, which was never released in the West. And then it has the Game Boy Advance game, I believe, Chain of Memories, which is a spin-off title that has this card deck style of combat in it. And then the third title is just a collection of like cutscenes. So the first game is a childhood favorite of mine, especially the beginning with the island section and some of the early levels like the Alice in Wonderland and the Colosseum and these early game areas. Such a nostalgic game for me. I also liked quite a bit the second one. The cinematics couldn't care less. I put it on the background at one point to play, just to get the trophies, but I don't really remember that much. I don't care about the Kingdom Hearts storyline with all the hooded people. It's not interesting to me at all. So I liked the series a lot during the time of the first two games. I also have this 1.5 remix that comes in this digibook version. Really nice cover art. Sora on the beach. Here he has a tail for some reason. And does have this art book. The cover art for the first game is absolutely gorgeous. Some of the keyblades from the game. Nightmare Before Christmas. Never Neverland. The what is the name of this place in English? Like 100 Acre Wood or something like that. It's Acre Wood something. I can't remember the English title of it. Puolen hehtaarin metsä in Finnish. Yeah. Great stuff. Then I also have the second game here. This is the 2.5 remix. Does this have a manual? Oh, it does. It felt really light. Oh, it's just like a 5-page manual. It felt really light. I thought if it wasn't complete, it was. So 2.5 remix has the second game and Birth by Sleep final mix. So this is the PSP game, I believe. And then it has a cinematics collection. I never liked the second Kingdom Hearts game. I know that's again a controversial opinion, but I think it's much worse than the first one. It doesn't have the charm. The levels are much more simple, less exploration, more focused on the story with the hooded people and all the nonsense that came after that. Not a fan of that at all. The combat is better than in this one than in the first game, just because it's more varied, lots of special attacks. It's more than just pressing one button like the first game. So, yeah. Birth by Sleep, I played as well. I think that was okay, but again, it's a storyline with the hooded people. I just don't care about them at all. So, the less Disney stuff there is, the less I'm interested in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. Right, another controversial opinion. I think Noire is just a garbage game. I don't like it at all. It's one of the biggest disappointments I've had. It's by Rockstar, so GTA people, right? Like oh my god, the writing in this game is so bad. The writing in this game is so bad. The characters are so bad. The open world is just a waste of time. They were going for this realistic, like 1950s or 1960s Los Angeles, and the open world is just empty. It looks really nice, but it's just empty. There's nothing to do there. So I don't even know why they made it an open world game. The gameplay is very repetitive. You're just constantly running after the people who are trying to escape from you. That's one of the only things I remember from the game, is that you are constantly chasing people. And the facial animations were supposed to be fantastic, groundbreaking, realistic, and they're just ridiculously bad. Just ridiculous facial animations. Every time someone's lying, they have their face in. I don't even want to say. I don't want to say the analogy because it's really dirty. But in Finnish, it's naama norsun vitulla. I'm not going to translate that. Right. Lego Indiana Jones. Fun game. I like it. Not much to say. It's like the other Lego games. Little Big Planet, classic PS3 title. I don't know how it would play now with the online down, because a big part of this game was that back in the day the PSN was free, so you had free online play, and you had free everything online. So you could make your own levels and share them online and just download how many ever you wanted. And I remember playing just dozens and dozens and dozens of these roller coaster levels and everything that people had made. I did make one level myself as well. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I did make one level, and it wasn't very well received because I'm not an artistic person, but it was a joy to play this game back in the day. I really like it. I haven't played any of the other ones, so I don't have the second or the third one here, but yeah, the first one is a classic. if you were around in those days. Right. Lollipop Chainsaw, this is starting to get expensive. This is the Nordic edition, which is very collectible currently. I've seen this go for like 120 euros. So hopefully it will go down with the PS5 release of the game. So there is a PS5 version of this that will release soon, I think. Just a strange game. It's a third-person hack and slash title. You're a cheerleader with a chainsaw, and you just butcher zombies with the chainsaw. Fun game. I don't think it's like that good, but it's fun. It's worth checking out. It's a strange game for people who like strange games. Right. A strange game that for absolutely no one. This is Lost, the video game, the licensed title for the television show, and one of the worst games on the PS3. Absolute piece of garbage, but kind of funny at times. Right, some sports games, Madden 12 and 13. I have other Maddens as well, but they are in such bad condition that I put them in like a throwaway pile at one point. I have them somewhere in a box, but I'll get rid of them and I'll probably upgrade them. So I think I have Madden 11 and 10 as well, but in really bad condition. So these are some of the last Madden games that are, I think, okay. I remember playing a lot of 12 and 13 in particular. I thought that those were just fine, I guess. Nothing special. The PS2 era for Madden is great, but yeah. Then I have this Mass Effect trilogy box. Comes with this cardboard sleeve. Has every game in their separate cases. I originally bought the Xbox 360 just to play these games, the first two titles. So I've played through all of them. I've played through the first one a couple of times, the second one a couple of times, and the third one just once. I think the quality of the series really goes downhill. The first one is very interesting, pretty well written, has some clunky gameplay with the driving sections and the gunplay, but overall an enjoyable third-person shooter, and the RPG elements work pretty well as well. The second game is a lot bigger, has some DLC in it that I never played, that have story characters in them, which sucks. I don't like it when they release DLC that's like story characters that are in the original game, but the storylines have been cut for the DLC, and that sucks. But yeah, the second one's fine, I guess. And the third one, I don't even want to talk about it. I absolutely hate the third game with a passion. I hate the third Mass Effect game with a passion. The storyline is so bad, and the ending is just garbage. Right, Max Payne 3. This is the Rockstar Games Max Payne title. I remember not liking this very much, simply because this is very different from the early Max Payne games. I should probably go back to it now and give it another shot, but I don't remember liking it a lot. It's like the other Max Payne titles in that it's a third-person shooter with bullet time in it, but it's not like a noir like the earlier games. So yeah, right. Then I have this one. Oh yeah. I also have the cardboard limited edition for this, which is very expensive. But yeah, on my shelf I have this regular edition. Is this like where is this from? Canada? Is this Canadian? Yeah, it's English and French. So this is, and North American. So this is Canadian. So these are the Blue Point remasters for the original Metal Gear Solid titles. The first one is a download code. Is it included here at all, actually? Oh yeah. So this one doesn't have the first game, but the one with the cardboard box, the limited edition, it has the first one as a download code, I think. So this is just 2, 3, and Peace Walker. And then the second game has some of the old PC titles, like the original Metal Gear games. I think they are included in the menus for the second game. So it does have some of the other extra games as well, I think. Or if this doesn't have them, at least the other release has them. And I'll show that in the probably the next video. Right. So Metal Gear Solid 3, by far my favorite. I never liked the second one. I should probably go back to it and try it again, but I never liked the second one because I was really annoyed by the oil rig setting, and the level design was just annoying with all the alerts. It was very difficult to avoid the alerts on the like these narrow corridors and so on. But yeah, the third one is an all-time classic, one of the greatest video games ever made. Peace Walker, the PSP title, I haven't played on the PSP, but I did complete it here. It's one of the first examples of a Metal Gear Solid title that has just a ridiculous amount of filler in it. So many of the missions in it are just not worth playing at all. It's a time waster, basically. So I like the third one. It's definitely the best one out of these on this collection. Right. Then I have Metal Gear 4, a notorious game. I think the ending cutscene is how long? It's over an hour long, if I remember correctly. It's like 70 minutes, maybe 60, 70 minutes. This is very similar to the newer Metal Gear Solid games, that I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think the gameplay is fantastic. Some of the story is very interesting, but overall it just doesn't hold up to the other ones, the older ones in the series. Just Kojima is unhinged at this point. He's completely unhinged with the cutscenes and the storyline. But it is an interesting game, and the gameplay is always fantastic. Right, what do we have next? Right, here's a game that I like a lot. Lots of negativity in this video, but here's a game that I like a lot. MotorStorm Pacific Rift. Another GameStop sticker. I hate GameStop so much. Oh my god. Okay. And there we go again with the negativity. I'll try to stay positive from now on. Yeah. Great racing game. Like it's off-road racing only, monster trucks and ATVs and so on. Very high speed off-road racing, great stuff. Another great game that I like a lot is the original Mirror's game. A lot of people reviewed this gave this mediocre reviews because the story sucks, which it does. The story is absolutely awful, but the gameplay in this game is so good. Such fluid movement. The level design is fantastic. All the different moves that you can make. Like, I didn't think running was so varied. There are so many different styles that you can run with in this game. All the different moves that you can make running on the walls and doing all these 180 turns, and just a ridiculously difficult game to play if you are going for like high level gameplay. I did get the platinum trophy for it, which is really challenging. Some of the time trials are really difficult, but I did manage to get it. Right. This is a strange one. National Geographic Challenge. So this is a National Geographic geography quiz game. Also has some puzzles in it. So it has jigsaw puzzles and sliding puzzles and all this different stuff in it. It's very cheap, very janky, but I kind of liked it. It's not the worst low-budget quiz game out there. This European one does have a broken trophy list, so there are some trophies that you cannot get. But if you buy the American version that I don't have, you can the trophy lists combine, and for that American version, the trophies are not bugged. So what is going on there, I don't know, but the American one has a complete trophy list. Right, some hockey. NHL 9, 11, 13, 15. So eSports hockey titles. eSports hockey titles like Madden have gone down the drain during the years. The PS2 era is still the best. I am still playing NHL 15 actively in single player mode because this is the last NHL game that I think is worth playing. All the newer ones are just awful. I can't stand the gameplay in them. But yeah, 15, 13. Also, this could be pretty collectible at some point because this is the first NHL game that was also released on PS4, and this PS3 release is completely different. Like this is a much better game than the PS4 NHL 15. It's basically NHL 13 or 14. It's the same gameplay but with updated rosters. So this could be collectible in the future. I don't know. The PS4 version of that game is completely broken, but this one is not. So it's the last good NHL game in my opinion. Right, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This is a fantastic JRPG. Lots of fun. Great art style with the Studio Ghibli cutscenes, and also in the game itself. It looks very similar to the cutscenes. Has the same art direction going for it. Great game. Another great game, the original Nier. In one of the PS4 videos, I showed Nier Replicant, which is a PS4 release for this game, and it has a different main character. So this is the main character for the European Nier, original Nier release. Just a fantastic action RPG, really interesting storyline, really good gameplay, great music, some of the best music on the system. Right, then I have some Ninja Gaiden here. These games I also showed in one of the PS4 videos because these have been re-released in the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection for the PS4. The first one is just a fantastic action game, brutally difficult third-person action game. The second one is a lot easier, but it's also I think a good game overall. It's not on par with the first one, in my opinion. It's very different, but it's much more approachable. So if the first one is very, very difficult and very challenging to even get into, just in terms of the basic gameplay, the second one is a lot more approachable. Right, then I have the Japanese import for Okami HD. This is the only way to get the game physically for the PS3. Also has some PlayStation Move stuff in it. Haven't tried it. But yeah, this doesn't have English language as an option, so I have this only for collection purposes. It does have the manual is in the Japanese style, so it reads from the different. What is the word I'm looking for? You flip through it from right to left. That's what I'm trying to say. Has some nice cover art in it. Not cover art, but just has some nice art in it. I can't speak right now for some reason. I'm doing my best. Yeah, Okami, great game. I have 3 copies of it now for 3 different consoles. Right, Painkiller, Hell and Damnation. This is a classic PC shooter. Really good. I remember playing the original Painkiller on a PC and absolutely loving it. So this is a reimagination, I think is the best way to put it. So it has some of the levels from the original game and some of the levels from the expansion cut together into a new storyline. And one thing that I was very surprised about this game is that this is one of the most expensive titles now for the PS3. I have no idea why. Maybe the print run was small, but yeah. I got this for I remember this vividly. I got this for €8 at a local game store. It was on the shelf along with other used PS3 games. I got it for €8, and now it goes for like over 100. So yeah, it's fine. It's not as good as the PC versions, but it's fine. It's a fun FPS game, like an old school FPS title where every jump is a bunny hop, which is really nice. So it's really fast paced, frantic, lots of enemies and so on. Right. Portal 2, one of the best games on the system. One of the best sequels probably ever made for any game. I prefer the first game simply because it's such a classic and its own thing. But the second game, it's even more fun than the first one. Great writing, great characters, and lots of different styles of puzzles in it. So it's a first-person puzzle game, really, really fun. Right, Rambo, the video game. This one is a rail shooter, and it's really bad. But again, it's so bad that it's good vein. So this is a fun game to play if you can stand really bad controls for a rail shooter. And it does get quite ridiculous, and the production value is very, very low on this game. But yeah, also getting a bit expensive. So I would get it pretty soon. If I didn't own it and I wanted to own it, I would try to get it on my hands pretty quickly. Definitely not worth paying a lot of money for. Right, this one is an interesting release. This is a short piece, and this has some anime short movies in it. Possessions, Combustible, Gambo, Farewell to Weapons, and then it does have the video game Ranko Tsukigime's Longest Day as well. So a combination of anime short movies and a game. The game is okay. It's a side-scrolling, I would like to say infinite runner, if I remember correctly. If it's not an infinite runner, then at least it's a side-scrolling platformer. Directed by Suda51. So again, a Grasshopper title. There have been many here in these PlayStation 3 videos, and there are still more to come. Right. One of the greatest games ever created. Red Dead Redemption, not much to say. This is the limited edition with the cardboard slip. And like all the other great Rockstar games, it has a fantastic full-color manual. Has some downloadable mission packs, and it also has the map, like all the other Rockstar Games titles have these maps. I didn't show these for the Grand Theft Auto games, but I'll show it for the Red Dead Redemption title. Right, there's a great map, and then on the other side we have a poster. Very difficult to show, but yeah, has one of the characters in the game in it. That's some awful footage, but it's better than nothing. All right. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption, all-time classic. If you haven't played it, play it. In one of the PS4 videos, I said that I haven't played the sequel, and that it's high on my priority list, and I should start playing it. I am currently playing it, and it's just fantastic as well. So I'm maybe around 10 hours into Red Dead Redemption 2 currently. So Just a fantastic game. And there's also this standalone DLC, Undead Nightmares. This is the zombie storyline spin-off, which is also just fantastic. Great stuff. Right. How far are we? We're in 40 minutes in. I'll do a couple more. Or maybe not. I don't have that many here left. So maybe I'll end this one here. And I'll go through the last couple of stacks that I have here in the next video. And then I'll go through the games that I haven't played. So yeah, this is a 3-parter for the PS3 titles that I have played. So I'll see you soon again. Thanks for watching.